Hello everybody, it's Chris Frame here and welcome aboard AY102, which is a Finnair flight from Hong Kong to Helsinki, and it's flown on board the Airbus A350, and you can see here that the aircraft that I flew on was the one in the One World livery. Now I was flying in business class, and Finnair has a 1-to-1 configuration in business class on the A350. It's a reverse herringbone design, and so each seat has direct aisle access. I had 6A, so it had the window, and this is just a view of the seat in its configuration as you board the aircraft. And you can see that they've already put out the amenities kit, some slippers and a water bottle, and there's plenty of space there, and it folds into a fully flat bed. So here's just a close-up look at some of the items that were waiting for you. So it's a pair of slippers and the comfort pack there. We'll have a look at that in more detail soon. And then there was a menu, a meal menu, and of course also the wine list. And you can see some of the features here. So there was a light, pretty simple operation there. A controller. Interestingly, this is the same seat as used with many airlines, including Cathay Pacific, which I'll be reviewing soon. And a different kind of controller there, quite basic controller. It has USB, it has power points, and the operations for the chair, which allow you to put it into multiple different configurations. There's a little space here for hanging of headphones or other personal items. This seat here had 2 windows, and then this TV screen was folded in, but you just press the button there and it opens up in front of you. It gives you a good view there. And it can fold away as well. Now looking over here, there's a little hook for hanging of coats. Down towards the ground, there's a sort of indented area there to give some extra access. There's a little push button drawer here. And it had the headphones. Now these were Bose sound cancelling headphones, and they were excellent. In fact, when you were wearing them, if there was no sound coming from the sound system, it almost sounded like there was no noise at all. It was extremely quiet. There was a water bottle waiting on arrival, that little pouch there, some onboard shopping, brochures, and the tray table, which we'll look at soon, and of course plenty of legroom. Now I'm over 6'5" and can fit into that space quite nicely. There's also a blanket, and all of the amenities are in these cool Finnair colours, and plenty of space down there as well. Now welcome drinks were served. There was champagne and water, and I decided to take both. It was an early morning flight, but I'd been flying since the night before, so why not? And now this is a look inside the amenities kit, and you can see that there's plenty of things there to keep you comfortable. Earplugs, an eye mask, toothpaste, and the cool little bag as well. Now this is a look at the meal menus. I'll scroll through it quite slowly. We had lunch after takeoff, and then another afternoon meal before arrival in Helsinki the following, or later that day. And the tray table folds out, and actually has a bit of a clip mechanism in it there, so it allows it to extend even further. And then it folds into a full-size table. It's got a little cutout on the right-hand side there so that it fits into your pod quite nicely. And just when you're pulling it out, you have to be sure to put your hand underneath the clip and pull. Otherwise, it just doesn't quite move the way you want it to. You can also see the A350 has some really updated looking cabin interiors. This one on Finnair actually doesn't have overhead lockers above the center of the aircraft, so it's very spacious. And there seems to be plenty of space for everybody to store their bags. The TV screens also show this little map of where meals and different services are going to happen throughout the flight. And the in-flight entertainment system operates also on those screens. And that's just a view up of the roof of the aircraft there. They also have a tail cam and an underbelly cam, so it shows you the front wheel, which is quite cool for takeoff. And you can switch between those just with the touch of a button there. You can see the flight time there was 10 hours and 34 minutes. Now we had quite a delay in Hong Kong due to bad weather over China, so we were about an hour and a half late pushing back, but we made up most of that time. And throughout the flight, the crew were excellent with the passengers who had missed connections. They had contacted Helsinki beforehand and had actually rebooked them all onto alternate flights. Now this is just how the in-flight entertainment system works. It's all touchscreen, pretty intuitive, and scrolls along, so it makes it pretty easy to use for the passengers and the aircraft. Now our aircraft was actually parked next to the Cathay Pacific A350 that I'd just flown up from Perth in Australia on, and so I got some good views of that one as it prepared for departure. The aircraft has, in business class, Bose sound cancelling headphones, so you can see here what they look like, and they're probably the best that I've ever had in business class as a complimentary headset. Just another view here of that forward wheel. The aircraft also has in-flight internet. It has Wi-Fi on board, and business class passengers get 1 hour for free. I tested this out whilst we were about halfway through the flight, and it actually worked really well. The speeds weren't noticeably slow or anything like that, and I was able to do a whole heap of things, including sending pictures via Messenger to family and friends back home. So you can see now the Cathay Pacific A350's moved on, and we have a Dragonair or Cathay Dragon A330 next to us. The weather in Hong Kong wasn't the best, but it was actually weather over China that had caused us to be delayed, as the main corridor out from Hong Kong towards Europe had been closed due to the weather. The A350 has this beautiful big engine, which you can see a great view there, and of course that very fancy winglet. The cabin crew were excellent. They offered drinks and refreshments to everybody. I decided to have a coffee, and it also came in the cup there that has the same style as the rest of the amenities on board. And of course, loving aviation as I do, waiting in Hong Kong with a comfortable seat and a good view didn't really bother me about the delay. Now we've pushed back and we're on our way. And here you can see the view from the camera under the aircraft and now out the window. Now, even though the A350 is a lot more quiet than many of the older aircraft it's replacing, it still makes a fantastic sound on takeoff, so now's a good time to turn up your speakers.
隊會為你提供一個安全及舒適嘅旅程，享受同我哋一齊嘅飛行旅程。如果可以令你喺航班上感到更舒適，請向我哋反映。多謝。
After the seatbelt sign went off, the cabin crew brought around drinks and canapes as the start to the meal, and then the entrees were served. I went for the roast beef and potato salad, and it was extremely nice, well presented, and had good flavour. This was also served with bread, and you can just see how the table there is set with the napkins and the tablecloth as well. Then it was time for main course. I had the fish option, and again that was presented nicely and had a lot of flavour, which was great. For dessert, I went for the Häagen-Dazs vanilla ice cream, which you can see there, and just a bit of a close-up as well. And then after that, it was time to get some rest. Now, something went funny with my camera here when I was recording the seat function, but you can see here as the seat folds out, it turns into a fully flat bed. Finnair don't provide a mattress for the bed, but what I find is quite useful is to ask the crew for a spare blanket and then pop the blanket down, and that actually adds a bit of extra padding and makes for a very comfortable bed, and you can see that's how that looks with the extra blanket sort of acting as a mattress protector. Now in bed mode, probably the only complaint I'd have about this seat is on Finnair. This area here that I'm pointing to, it actually juts out into the leg space, and for someone who's quite tall like me, that's sort of where your knees are, and so it was very difficult to sleep on your right side because the panel was hitting into your knees. I'd slept quite a lot on the Cathay Pacific flight up from Perth, and so I didn't sleep too much on this flight, so indulged in a little bit of snacks throughout the flight, and then later before landing the cabin crew served a second meal, and I went with the fried rice option, which you can see there, and it was served with breads and fruit as well. And this is actually the view from the bathroom. So the business class bathrooms on the Finnair A350 have a window, and they have cotton towels there. You can see the amenities, the style of the fixtures and fittings, and it's all very modern and very clean given the aircraft is so new, and the door even has a hook for your coat so you can get changed. You can see here we're now making our way into Helsinki, and the pilot had already come over the loudspeaker to tell us that it was going to be a bit of a bumpy landing because of heavy winds and bad weather in the area. So we're still enjoying the clear skies there, but you can see now how dark it got with the clouds. You couldn't even see anything except for the wheel coming down on the camera, and lots of rain running past the window there.
身機。請繼續留喺座位上並扣好安全帶，直至安全帶。你可以使用掌上電子儀器，並可以調校至正常模式使用。And we are sorry for this delay. Thank you, goodbye, and we look forward to seeing you soon on board Finnair again.
Prepare for gate drive.
Thanks so much for joining me on Finnair AY102 from Hong Kong to Helsinki. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment if you've got thoughts on Finnair, and as always, please remember to subscribe to this channel. And thanks once again for watching.